So the first thing I'm going to do is to open my browser and launch AWS console. I already have an account with AWS, so I'm just going to sign into my account. So I'm already signed in as well and these are my recent services that I've used. So I want to use EC2. I want to create 2 instances that we are going to use for this demo. So I'm going to use launch instance. I'm going to call it demo. And then I'm going to choose Microsoft Windows. And I'm going to use the free version, the free trial version. It gives me 1 gig memory. I think that's good enough for what you want to do. I think there's another free version, just 2 free versions, this and this. This one is a smaller memory, it gives 0.6 gigabyte, while this is 1 gig. So I'm going to go with the 1 gig. And then I'm going to choose a key. If you don't have a key, you can create a key, but I have this key on my system, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to pick this and this. I think there as well. And then our memory, our storage space is 30 gigabyte. I think that's good enough. We don't even need that much, so I'm going to go with the 30 gig. And it's free, so I have to make sure I'm using free services so I don't incur any charges. Now I'm going to put the number of instances. I want to create 2 instances with the same specifications, then launch instance. Okay, now we have to view our instances. So these are the 2 instances I just launched. Demo. So let me name it demo 1 and demo 2. Demo 1 and demo 2. Okay, so we're going to focus on demo 1 and demo 2. It's still creating the instance. That's why you can see here it's saying pending. This one is saying running. Don't worry about all these other instances. They've been terminated, so you can see terminated. So now we are going to right click. So you have to wait before you can, after creating the instance, you have to wait for status check to be complete. It says initializing, so you have to wait for status check to be ticked, just like this one has been ticked. You have to wait for status check to be ticked also before we can move to the next step. So while we wait for status check to be complete, we can launch. We have to change our MAC address for this computer. So I'm going to use an app called CMAC to change our MAC address. So when the CMAC launches, you have to find the connection you're using. The type of connection that I'm using is Wi-Fi. So I'm going to pick Wi-Fi and I'm going to take random MAC address. Generate a random MAC address for your computer, and then you click change now, and then it changes your MAC address. So as you're browsing, it will be like this is a different computer that is browsing. Okay. And then I have to refresh this page to be sure that my status check has been complete. So I'm going to. Okay, our status check is complete. So now we can right click and choose security, get Windows password. So to get the password, you have to paste the key that you used to create your instance. So I use the key called practice key. So let me find it on my computer. Practice key. I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to paste it here. So this is my username, this is my password, and we are going to put this on our remote desktop. So before we use this credential, we need, we made a mistake. We need to put our public IP address here, public IP address of our instance. So let me go back to AWS. So to connect to this instance called demo1, we need the public IP address. That's this. So I'm going to copy this and put it on my remote desktop. So if I try to connect to it, it will ask for a password. So I'm going to put this administrator as my username. And then password is this. I'm going to copy this. And then put it in. And I'm going to connect to it. Yes. It's just asking, do you really want to connect to this particular instance? So I'll just click yes. So I'm waiting for it to set up to connect to the instance which I've created. I'm waiting for the remote desktop to connect to AWS instance which I've created, and we have changed our MAC address of this computer, so it's acting as a brand new computer. Okay, so let me enlarge this. I say yes, so that the network connection will be here. Okay. Now I'm going to open my browser. Okay, so now I want to watch my YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel. I want to watch some of the videos to see if it recognizes me as a new user, not me as the owner of the channel. This is the setup process. I'm trying to finish setting up my browser so I can open YouTube. So let me go to my channel and watch a video called Roland. Roland tutorials without a space. This is not it. If I choose that, it will take me somewhere else. I have to go to the one without space. No, this is not the channel. Okay, so when I put the add sign, it opens my channel. So I'm going to watch this video. It has 200 likes. So let's hope that by watching it, it will increase to 201. It has 200 views. Okay, so I'm watching the video now. Let me like it. Okay, so to like a video, I need to sign in. So I don't want to sign in. Let me go back to the page after. So you can see the 200 views did not change. I just watched the video right now, though it was for some seconds, but it should have changed to 201. So it did not change. I don't know why that's happening. So let me open it in a new tab again and watch it. So I'm going to open several videos. This one has 86. So after watching this, it should turn to 87. So let's see if it's going to change to 87. I'm going to open it in a new tab. This one has, okay, this is not my video. So we'll just use these two for practice sake. This is 200, this is 86. So after watching these two videos, it should be 201 and 87. So this video is playing right now. Just by watching this video, it should have changed. But I'm going to watch it at least halfway before ending this. And this one is also playing, so I'm going to watch it at least halfway also before ending this instance. So I'm thinking maybe it's because of my MAC address, or maybe I don't know. I actually don't know where the error is coming from. So I'm going to use that TMAC app again, just to change my MAC address one more time. So I'm going to use the TMAC app again. Let me close this because it's definitely not working, because my number of views has not changed. Let me refresh the page. My number of views have not changed, so I'm going to just close this. It's definitely not working. I'm going to close the whole remote. I'm going to close the whole remote. So while connected to my remote desktop, if I try to use that TMAC app, once I change my MAC address, it's going to close this. It's going to shut me out of my remote desktop. So I'm going to have to come back here again. Everything here ends. Once I change my MAC address, this browser closes, everything closes. So I'm going to. Okay, so now let's use another instance. Let's say this instance has been compromised. Let me assume that this instance has been compromised. Let me use the second instance that we created. I'm going to highlight this. So I'm going to create login credentials, and then I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste my key. I'm going to decrypt. So I've gotten my username and my password. But before I connect to my remote desktop, I have to disconnect from this one, this is the remote desktop which I'm already running. So I have to disconnect from this remote desktop. I'm going to disconnect to it. We continue to run. Okay, they say programs on the remote computer will continue to run after you have disconnected. You can reconnect to this remote session later by logging in again. So even after I disconnect, this video is supposed to still be playing. Okay, let me play it. So this is a laptop in AWS location, let's say somewhere in the US on a AWS server, because that's the IP. If you check the IP of this instance, it's going to be pointing you to somewhere in the US, because I think my region on my AWS is US. So this IP address of this server is in the US already. That one is setting, and then my MAC address is being changed locally with my TMAC app. So if I close this remote desktop, this video is still going to be playing on this particular instance. It's just like it's just like a laptop that I am not using anymore, but I left running. So I'm not using it, but I just left it running to be watching YouTube videos. So it's going to be watching this video even after I disconnect. That's what this prompt says. That's what this prompt means. So I'm going to say yes. So I'm out of that. Now I want to connect to the second instance which you already have running. So I want to connect to this particular instance. That's demo 2. I'm going to take the IP. But before I connect to it, let me use this TMAC. I'm going to use this TMAC to change my MAC address, just to be certain that I'm not recognizable. I'm going to change my MAC address. Okay, so it's been changed. So now I can use my remote desktop. I'm going to say yes. So this is my remote desktop. This is a brand new laptop that I have running on AWS platform. So my MAC address is brand new, my IP address is brand new. So if I watch a YouTube video, it should recognize me as a brand new user. So this is the setup process. We've gone through this already, just for Microsoft. I don't want to start installing Chrome because it's not necessary. I just want to watch YouTube video, that's all. So I'm going to use the default page, YouTube. So now let me go to my YouTube channel once again and watch that particular video. Those two, and watch videos. So you can see it's still showing here 200 views and 86 views. So I'm going to watch this on a new tab. I'm going to watch the second one on a new tab also. So after watching these two videos, this is a brand new instance, new MAC address, new IP. This views should change and this number of views should change also. So this video is playing and the second video is playing also. So by playing these two videos, the views on this channel on this particular video should increase by 1. So let me refresh this page. This should be 201 and this should be 87. So there's no change. That's what I've been trying to prove. There's no change. So using this RDP process, I don't know where I'm going wrong, but I think after I change my MAC address and I change my IP and go through the process over again, I should have seen a change. That's why I've given up on this process. I think YouTube only recognizes the view if it's a registered YouTube account. Just like if I try to click subscribe or like, if I try to click like or subscribe, it's going to tell me sign in. It's going to ask me to sign in. I think so only when I've signed in that I become a valid viewer. Only after I sign in that this view can change to 201. That means a valid viewer has viewed your content. That's what I think. That's how I think YouTube recognizes views, by people who have YouTube accounts, because I'm not signed in, so I'm like a random viewer. That's the final conclusion I've come to. Thank you. So thank you. Like my video, please subscribe. After watching this, subscribe. Help your boy.